Okay, consider this the intro to the shop update. I'm going to touch on a bunch of different subjects in this shop update. What I'm going to do is sometimes, as you know, I might get long-winded on a subject or it might lead into something else. So I'm going to go through and edit it out. So if it ends abruptly, that's the cause of it. Um, at the end of this shop update, I'm going to have a little segment of where I'm going to be talking about an upcoming project or something new for the shop. So stay tuned for that. Over here at the welding bench, and I just wanted to show you it's kind of a shop update that I'm starting to get this thing organized. I brought that toolbox over here. That horrible freight, it's not a big toolbox, it's one of those kind of job carts. I'll take you over there and show you. When he came, this is on a Friday, he came this morning, and all he had with him for socket organizers is the standard SAE type organizers. He didn't have any of the metrics with him. So what I did is sorted it out. Now these are all metrics in here. Those are spark plug sockets. I will save them. I don't know what I'm going to do with them. They'll probably go in that other toolbox over by the tractor. Not that I use spark plug sockets that often. Those sockets over there are duplicates of the other ones. This is all metric sockets. So what I did is start putting them out. Now I don't have a lot of deep wells, so there was duplicates of the standard sizes. I'll probably take them duplicates and put them in the truck or in the trailer in a small toolbox, along with metric ones that I probably going to stop back on Tuesday and give me the other trays for the metric. This tray over here, which is metric, was I had over there by the that workbench by the engine stand, and what I'm probably going to do is take that back over there and just leave it over there out on the bench, because you use a lot of or I was using a lot of metric sockets over there when I was doing building that Cummins engine. But anyways, that's it for now. Tuesday he's coming back and bringing some of the stuff that he owed me, but I'll bring you back. One other thing is a kind of a shop update. I had just showed you that the socket trays that I got for this horrible freight box, and what I am is over here at the bandsaw, and you'll notice that there's another one of them LED light fixtures here. This light fixture my grandson actually had up in the attic of his house, just for light up there. Now where he got it, I have no idea, if he bought it for a job or if he bought it for himself, but he said, why don't I take it, put it in the shop, and I can pay him back. Just a shot before I put the light fixture up. Okay, so I just hung that light fixture up off of that conduit that runs through there. I'm going to plug it in. Again, it had that cord on it that my grandson put on it. But let me plug it in. What I'm going to do is reposition the camera over towards the welding table, and I'll give you a shot after I plug it in. So a shot of the welding table before it gets plugged in, and I'll go plug it in. I'm going to leave it right there. I'm not sure if this camera is in the same position as I originally had it looking at that light, but what I did is showed you a shot of the welding table after I turned it on, but I never really backed up and put the camera in the original position that I had it before I turned the light on. So let this be that shot. So there is a light in that corner, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to just run the cord over and run it down the wall to a plug for now, so that I'll zip tie the wires up to that conduit so they're out of the way, and just have a plug over there so I can plug the light in whenever I need it. Is part of a little shop update. I just wanted to show this to you. I went to an estate sale on Saturday, and the reason why I went to the estate sale is they had a portable band saw shown in it. Now the estate sale apparently started on Friday, so by the time that I got there on Saturday, most of the tools and all of the good stuff had been picked over as that bandsaw was gone. But what I did find on Saturday when I went, everything was half off. Now they had the square set listed for $25. It's a precision square set. Use it to set up things on the mill tables to make sure that they're square with the table. Use it for other things too, but it's a precision square set. It's .00063 tolerance on. So it is a fairly precision square set. Now I looked so I got it for $10. He gave it to me for $10. I bought some other things too, but he gave me the square set for $10. Also at the estate sale I got 3 books. A welding handbook, 8th edition. I'm not even sure what the date of it is. It's probably like a 50s vintage, 60s vintage. Wow, 91. And a metals handbook. No, that one. But they're cool. I like books, so I picked those 2 up. I actually picked up 3 books. The other one's at home. It's actually a book about blacksmithing. Fairly new. I think that one was 2010, something like that. But anyways, let me show you one more thing that I got from the estate sale. So one of the other thing that I got from the estate sale was 2 things. What I forgot to mention too is those books. The books were $1 a piece. These are nut splitters. You don't really need them that often. I mean, a lot of times you can take an impact wrench and just break it off if it is. But sometimes, like when you have studs on manifolds, you don't want to break that stud because to drill it and get it out, if the engine is still in, it's really hard. But if you sometimes you can take a nut splitter, split it off, and then just run a die back over the stud that's left in there, and you've still got it without breaking the stud and having the complications of getting re-drilling and tapping that stud hole. So couple of nut splitters. Did I mention he gave them to me for free? Yeah, he gave me those free. I'm just going to shoot a brief shot of this. I ran that conduit over for the grinder, so I extended it out of that 4-inch box and then came over here and put this box in where it will drop down to the grinder. So I'll bring you back when I get it done. Here's that 4-inch square box that I tied into for the grinder. Now, as I showed you, I had run it out. I've got the it all tied in, the cables tied in, and the wire run down to the grinder. Now again, I put that plug in there, so if I want to disconnect the grinder, I've got a way of disconnecting it without having to get way up in the air and pull the wire nuts off of it. But I just wanted a means of disconnecting it. If the event should ever arise that I need to move it for some reason, you know, say something, I had to get something big back in here and I wanted to pull that grinder out of there. All I've got to do is just disconnect it, unbolt it from the floor and move it and be able to get something back in there. Let me, again, I've got it wired up, so let me go down and I'll show it to you running. Okay, so here we are down here at the grinder, and that is the original switch, and I'll tell you, that switch has been beat to death. I'm not sure what happened to it, but it's really had a hard life. Here we go. Now I didn't get the rotation right on that the first time, so what I had to do is reverse 2 of the leads. 3-phase, you don't have the rotation on the motor right. All you got to do is reverse 2 of the leads and you'll probably come up with the correct rotation of it. But anyways, there it is, another part of the shop update. The grinder's up and running. I still do have to mount it. Again, that floor is very uneven and I just need to secure it down to it. As part of a shop update, what I was about ready to do was anchor this grinder down to the floor. I've got the drill here. Actually, my grandson had the drill and he just brought it back for me. But while I was waiting for him to bring it back over here, I started cleaning out. Is when you look down into the grinding wheels, there was, and you can see it on this side. It was built up of steel and grinding wheel and stuff like that, and this side was really plugged up. And this one piece, I had a heck of a time getting this thing out. You can see the chisel marks on it where I was trying to get it to bust free up in here. I don't think the thing had ever been cleaned. That's just part of the stuff that I got out of this one side, but that's what I'm doing. Gonna anchor it down, and while I was waiting, I was gonna clean it up. So I'm gonna finish cleaning. I'll clean out this side and then button it back up again and anchor it down to the floor. So as I said I would, I brought you back. I've got that bolted down. What I did is just mark the location of the grinder and marked the bolt holes below it, moved it over, drilled and put anchors into the floor. I've got those cover plates back on, got them cleaned out. What I did is just sprayed a little gray paint on the inside of them. Hopefully that paint will keep the grinding dust and metal from sticking to it. Now, I'm not saying it'll work, but at least it's worth an effort. Anyways, that's that. I'll bring you back. Okay, we're over here at that horrible freight box, and as you can see, all the sockets are gone off the welding table. Got them over here. The rest of them I just put into a tray on a shelf where I had some extra sockets stored to begin with. Basically, there is more shallow sockets than there are deep well sockets. As you can see over in the 1/2 inch, what I've done is taken some of the duplicates, which I had a whole bunch of, and put the shallow sockets onto the deep post just so that I had them there until I get it all straightened out. But I'll figure out what I'm going to do with the rest of them. As I had alluded to before, I'm probably going to try and get some into a toolkit in my truck, so we'll do that. But anyways, that is done. I got the trays for it, and that's done. I've got to clean this box up and organize it a little better. Get some more tools over here that standard type tools that get used a lot over by the welding table. probably more standard sized wrenches and sockets than there are metric, but I'll bring you back for more shop updates. So I know this isn't any big cut, but this is going to be the first cut on the bandsaw with it laying or with it positioned, the tables powered up. What this material is, it's 4 20-foot sticks of 1.25" angle iron. What I'm going to do is split it in half. If you've seen any of my shop updates, you've probably seen it laying around on the floor. It was bought for grading, the floor drain grading in other areas. There was some shops that somebody moved out and another tenant was moving in, and the grading was screwed up. So what I did was made grates for the floor drains, and this material was left over. So it's been laying around on the floor. I didn't really want to cut it up, but it's getting to the point where it's in the way, and so what I'm going to do is cut it in half and then put it up into the metal rack. I've got some rebar that's laying over there on the floor, and I'm also going to do the same thing to that. What I'm going to do is I'll set you up on a tripod and just show you the cut. So there we are. Worked great. Okay, so the new thing for me, the shop, a new project. If any of you guys have followed my channel, you know that I love to drive, and part of some of my videos is driving or hauling stuff. One of the things that I had planned on doing was getting another truck, a bigger truck, something that would support, let me rephrase this, legally support a larger trailer. Now, my truck can pull a pretty big trailer because it's been beefed up. The engine's been worked on, etc. The suspension has been worked on. It's got airbags, etc. It can pull a lot more than the truck is rated to pull. So one of the things that I've been doing is kind of thinking about getting a larger trailer, a much larger trailer, and a larger vehicle to pull it with. Of course, the thought always gone through my mind about buying a new truck, and but the new truck, although it would be great, really doesn't fit what I kind of had envisioned for me to be able to haul stuff with. So let me just tell you that I have bought something, and it's going to be a project. I'm not going to tell you what it is. I pick it up Monday, and I'll bring it back to the shop, and I'll make a video about it, and we'll go through it and tell you what my visions are for this vehicle. So that's kind of as far as I'm taking you with the new project and what it is, and you'll have to wait until the early part of next week to for me to put a video out on it showing you the new vehicle and what my visions are for it, and what time frame that I plan on doing it in. So I'll bring you back.